It's time for a Senior Citizens Forum. I'm Janice Wood, your host, and the Senior Citizens Forum is being sponsored by Benefits for You 2 Insurance Services. And at Benefits for You 2 Insurance Services, we specialize in Medicare supplemental plans, Medicare Advantage plans, and Medicare prescription drug plans. Medicare is for people that are over the age of 65 and certain people that are under the age of 65 that qualify for Medicare. We also do health insurance. But today I'm here with my buddy, Arash Ghodstinat from Computech, and they're located in Laguna Hills, California. And Arash has been on my previous shows that you can find on YouTube without any problem.
Exactly.
And what we are, and he and I have an announcement that we're going to make a little later on in the program, so I'm really excited about that.
Thank you, Janice.
But Arash is a IT person, okay, and he's went to school in Fullerton, if I remember correctly.
I got my master's in Fullerton.
Right, his master's in Fullerton. And he's been in the information technology business for how many years now, Arash?
Now it's almost 27 years.
Oh my God! Yeah, you don't look that old.
I know. I started since I was 18, so I was working since then. Yes.
Yeah, well, very good. And he loves what he does. But we found out several years ago, we both have this thing, a dislike for scamming and hacking. And because I'm into protecting seniors, okay, it's a subject that I feel has to be continuously talked about.
Very good idea. Yes.
And so, scamming is one of the most fastest growing businesses around.
That is correct. Yeah.
Okay, and I pulled up a chart.
Yeah, from 2023.
Yeah, that was This information was posted in February,
Wow.
and I think you even have more
Correct,
up-to-date information. But you find that it says 2.6 million
and then
reports.
Reports.
Those are reports.
Fraud reports.
Fraud reports.
Yes.
Happened in 2023.
Yes. For the last year, Janice, we got the full report for ransomware attacks.
Right.
It was $1.6 billion that it was reported. So I'm going to have a couple stories that we're going to go through.
Okay, we're going to talk about that. And we're going to also talk about AI, which is artificial intelligence, and talk more about that. That's helping these numbers grow.
That's exactly right.
Okay. And it's scary, and I know Arash and I are both going to have some stories for you. But I thought these figures were really interesting. It said the top frauds were imposters, which I know lots of imposters.
Yep.
They call you all the time.
They call you all the time.
They send you text messages.
Or email.
Absolutely.
Yes.
And then the other ones are online shopping.
Oh, yes. That's
which is a big one, okay? Also, those prizes and sweepstakes.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, those, I get one because I like to play games. I'm a gamer, okay?
Exactly.
All right, and you get, you won this prize. Those scare me, so I never sign up for those $500 rewards.
Yes.
Okay. Investments.
Oh, yeah.
Okay. That's a big one. And businesses and job opportunities.
That's another option.
Those
That's another
those are
section,
supposed to be the top 5.
That's very interesting, Janice. You did a good research.
I've been doing. I love this chart when
Yeah,
I saw
yeah.
it. Yeah. And if anybody's interested in seeing this chart, they can find this on. This is FTC.gov's website.
That's very interesting.
Okay, which is a really good chart. This has it down to the losses in businesses. Business loss for 2021 was $438 million. Wow. Okay. For 2022,
Right.
look at that number.
Wow. 666 million. Yeah.
Okay. For 2023, we're just talking a couple months back.
Exactly.
Okay. It jumped to $752 million.
That's unfortunate.
Really?
That's a very high number, a very high jump. So, it's like around
Right.
20% jump.
That is
Yeah.
very scary.
That's very scary. And I'm going to talk about a couple of the big attacks today that happened in Las Vegas and in Orange County.
Okay.
That we were involved. So
Okay.
we're going to go
So
over that.
we're talking Orange County. We're talking Orange County, California.
Exactly.
Because I believe that New Jersey has an Orange County. Yeah.
Exactly. Orange County,
Right.
California.
And this show happens to be seen in all 50 states.
50 states. And
And
overseas too, because people told
Overseas,
me,
and we're also, I believe, in like 48 or 50
50
countries
countries,
that this is
Europe
being,
and all these,
that
yeah.
this show will be posted in.
South America.
Okay,
too, yeah.
right. So that is really something. Now here, investment scams. I mean, this is totally scary. These numbers are overwhelming.
Yeah, that's exactly right, Janice. And
Look at this. I don't know if you can see this on here. 2021, $1.7 billion. We're not talking millions, we're
It's
talking billions, okay? And look at how it went up for 2022, 3.8 billion dollars.
Yes.
Now, for 2023, Arash, what is it?
$4.6 billion. So that's a very high numbers, and that's unfortunate, I can say. Yeah.
That is unfortunate. And I have some more statistics, but we
Sure.
won't go over any more
Right.
overwhelming statistics. But it's very scary.
That's exactly right, Janice.
And it not only are everyone, you don't have to be a senior, everyone is being attacked.
Different ages, different ways. So we're going to go over a couple of the examples. We're going to go over that so
Right.
we know more.
But first, we're going to talk about AI, because
Sure.
AI is something
Yes.
in the last, I would say, 2 years is really being
It's
talked about.
Growing very fast.
And it's growing, it's adding to these statistical numbers.
It can prevent, it can add. That's why it's very important for everyone to understand a basic of AI. First of all, AI is artificial intelligence. So when we say AI, that's that field that we're talking about. And most of the people may heard about ChatGPT. That's one of the famous
Right.
yes, platforms that are growing very fast.
And I know we use that.
Many people now using that. You can write your agreements, you can write your letters, you can do lots of things with ChatGPT, so that's very helpful. But I was in a seminar last week. I was in Channel Partner and the MSP Expo in Las Vegas.
Okay.
And on that, they said now the emails that you used to get as far as the scam emails, it's not that like I'm from Nigeria and I need this money, I'm lost. AI will help those emails as well. So we need to be smarter, we need to be paying more attention to when we get emails, even from me, from you, double check everything. And we're gonna go on some of the basic things we need to double check. But for example, from who sent that email, the tone of the email, how can you compare it with the previous emails? If it's attachment that's suspicious. So before, if we spend like 10 seconds on an email and say, okay, let me reply, now we need to spend 30 seconds. And it was very funny because it's actually very interesting. The board that we're talking about this was one of them was the highest security, cybersecurity person in AT&T, and she was talking about it, and she was explaining it, paying attention, focus on what you're doing. It's very important these days because now we're trying, nowadays, all of us, especially myself, I'm talking about myself, we do multitasking things, means I'm talking on the phone and I'm typing an email. So that can cause problem. That's one thing very basic that's good to pay attention on the basic like email address, format of the email, tone of the email, attachments, and all these things.
Yeah, I mean, we do. We get so busy because,
Exactly.
I mean, I know I'm busier than the average senior,
Yes.
but I know yesterday I was at home and I was trying to do something and somebody's knocking on the door and I walked away from my computer.
That's
I
true.
left it wide open.
Exactly. That's very important.
It can be attacked.
It has always has the risk. And then, as you brought it up, for our employees, even home users, anyone that our clients, we tell them every night when they're done, they need to restart their computer or shut it down. When they go to lunch, they need to lock it. And then there are 10 items that I can go over. But before I go over that, I want to go over the story that happened. Very interesting story that was unfortunate that many people may heard about the attacks that happened in Las Vegas.
Right.
And
those were very...
It was all over the news, MGM Hotel and Caesar Palace and many other small ones, but these two were on the news. MGM Hotels, one day they found out everything is down. The elevators didn't work, the valet parking was down, the key rooms didn't work, everything shut down. Caesar Palace was the same. They found out it was a big ransomware. And then I'm going to go over it for like a minute. So I don't want to spend more time. But the way the ransomware works, it goes to the computers, it goes to the whole system and change the extension of all files. For example, if you have an image or if you have a music, the image by extension is JPEG, PNG, GIF, or something like that. They change it to something very weird and they encrypt it. And the only way you can decrypt it is they have the key. No one has the key. Or
well, let's say, what is encrypting for case somebody's watching us and doesn't know?
No, when you encrypt it, you double click on any file you have, it won't open. It won't. Technically, your files are garbage. Okay. And the only way you can open it is either you have a good backup, or they give you the key. So if you want them to give you the key, you have to pay them. If you have a good backup, you're good. But the new way they're doing it, they don't put the ransomware on one night. They go to the systems, they stay on systems. Let's say they come to our system and they know exactly who Janice is, how much you have on your bank account, and who's Arash. Arash is your IT company. What are his team? What exactly how do they back up? Where do they back up? Once they find all the information, then they will corrupt the backup. They will do whatever they can, take whatever critical information they need, and then they put the ransomware. So when you go back to, let's say the next day, you see the ransomware, you go to your backup, you see everything is gone. Okay. Now, we learn new techniques to protect the backup because the old techniques won't work. It's a new era. So I don't want to go more deep, but Caesar Palace ended up gave them a $15 million. MGM didn't pay them. They were down for almost 2 months or 3 months. And not everything. They just backed up a couple like elevator, the key rooms were working, but their website was down. A couple things were down. Then the same team attacked in Anaheim that they hired us. So we were involved with FBI, insurance companies, all these things. First of all, it's highly recommended if you have a business to get cybersecurity insurance, because when these guys attack, they're a very big team. They're not 1 or 2 people. They have a negotiation team, the hackers. They have lawyers. They have, I think it's that's the part that makes it scary. But we have ways now to back up safely.
So I want to go back real quick.
For sure.
Because one of the things that you're talking about that to me I think is real interesting. You said that the hackers have negotiation teams.
They have a negotiation teams. We weren't negotiating with that negotiation team, actually.
And that's to get to get
the money.
the money back
That's
that
exactly
belongs
right.
to your clients.
Actually, this was what happened. So I explained it. So in Anaheim, they asked $1.6 million from this company. This company, I cannot bring up names for confidentiality.
No, I absolutely agree.
But this company has around 300 employees, and they're a big company. They made last year around $50 million a year. And these guys knew exactly how much they had in the bank account. So when they asked 1.6, they say it's 5% of your bank account, for example. So we know you have $50-60 million in your bank. So we want 1.6, 5%. So now this company, they had a good cybersecurity insurance. So the insurance negotiation team was negotiating with the hackers negotiation team. So to bring the price down, they end up paying them $200,000. They weren't our client, they hired us. So what happened is they had the enterprise backup system, but unfortunately the hackers found the backup and they destroyed it.
I'm finding this to be totally overwhelming
Yes.
as a layperson.
Of course.
Okay?
Yes.
I'm going, you have to negotiate with lawyers, the negotiation team, to get your own money back.
Not even your money, your files back. You're negotiating to pay them
but
less.
your property.
You're negotiating to get your key back, and then you still pay them. But instead of 1.6 million, they end up paying them like $400,000. But they still pay them.
But you're still paying them to get back what belongs to you.
So what happened is, imagine something very big happened to United Healthcare. I don't want to go there. But let's say they asked them $22 million.
Yeah.
So let's say, and you said, I don't want to pay you. This company made $50 million a year, means around 4-point-something million a month, right? So every day is around 150,000, the math calculation, right? So if you don't pay them $1 million in 10 days, means you lost that money already. So because the whole procedure stopped. Let's say the MGM, the rooms didn't work, so it means the client, they cannot charge anyone. So it means they're paying the employees and they cannot charge, so they're going to lose the money. So that's a very fast decision.
And I'm wrapping around my brain going, I have a little bit of money in the bank compared to what...
Of course, these people
compared to a big corporation.
Correct.
But they're capable, if they can get into a big corporation,
they can do that.
It's easy for them to get into me.
That is very true. But remember, those big ones that attack, they don't have any benefits to attack me or you.
Right, but they still...
They can. You're totally right. The smaller ones or the smaller hackers.
They're the learning.
Yeah, there are one, but there are some stuff that we wrote down 10 or 12 lines of things that each person need to do. Doesn't matter, you're home user, or you're an employee, based on our conversation we had with FBI cybersecurity. For example, you always have a very secure password, number one. Number two, restart your computer every night. Don't leave it on and say, oh, I have lots of files open. Number three, use a password management tool. Means do not save your password on Google Chrome or Edge or something. Because why it happens? The hackers, whenever they go to a computer, first thing they're hacking is all the passwords you saved on your Chrome or Edge. Those are very easy to export. And now, my question for everyone, I'll give you 10 seconds to think about it. What is the number one? You can answer that too, Janice. What is the number one thing that the hacker loves to have first? Like bank account?
Bank account.
Now, what do you think?
Health and your medical? Because I hear some...
The number one that they need is your email.
Of course.
And I tell you why. Everyone's saying, oh, my email, I don't care. But remember, lots of us send our social security, our IDs, our important information to our spouses, partners, friends, brother, sister, mother, father, whoever.
Yeah.
If you do that, please remove those from your attachments. If those attachments on your email and someone get into it, it's very easy to search by attachments, export all those attachments, and find out your social security. Let's say they find RS social security, driver's license. They easily can call my bank account, say, this is my social, this is my ID, this is my address. Please change this to this. change my phone. They call my phone provider and change it. They call anything I have, change it. The next day, theft identity. So I call them and they say, oh, you're not Arash, or they talk to us. You're not Arash. So this can happen.
I know with the emails now, I get, I want to say 500 to 600 a day sometimes.
That is true.
And it becomes it's overwhelming.
Overwhelming, exactly.
And I would say 80% of that is stuff I don't need.
That is correct. Yes, we're going to go there as well. But I just want to close out what we said.
Right.
So number 3 was make sure do not save your passwords in Edge, Chrome. Number 4 is a little more technical. We can always talk about it later in the comments or anything you have. I would love to answer. But you have to set up your user as user privilege. What it means, people have Apple usually is a user instead of admin. Means when you want to install something, you need an admin password to type. But Windows user, if you set it up as admin, it means you can install anything you want. And that's not recommended right now. So that was number 4. We can go on and go on. If you want, I can go over all of them. Number 5 is never share your password with anyone. Number 6 is never send your password through it via email. If you want to give it to your friend, your father, mother, anyone, just call them, give it to them, and have them write it somewhere safe, or put it in the password management. So these are the options that we learned. Now,
I need to stop for a moment.
Let's stop for a moment.
We need to take a break, and there's some things I want to go back to.
Definitely.
When we come back, okay? We're going to take a short break, and we're going to hear from our sponsor, and we'll be right back with you with this really important information for you to have.
Here at Benefits for You 2 Insurance Services, we believe knowledge is power when it comes to selecting the correct healthcare and Medicare insurance. Please contact us at healthcareoptions@benefitsforyou2.com or call us at 310-245-0332.
Welcome back to a Senior Citizens Forum, and I'm here with my friend Arash Ghodstinat, and we're going to have a really great announcement to make. I'm really excited about our announcement. Okay, when we were talking about hacking, and I mean, if you watched the first part of our show, I mean, it was full of information I was finding overwhelming, and I listen to Arash talk on a regular basis, and it's always like, really, this information, they're doing this, and I know by statistics and figures what's going on. We talked about AI and what AI is, but let's go back, and we want to go back and talk about emails again. And I also want to go back, and I know we're going to be doing some repeating, but it isn't going to hurt, about those bank accounts, okay?
Very important.
But let's start with the emails.
For sure, yes. So we were talking in the previous section about the emails. And one of the ways that hackers love is they love to hack your email. And by doing that, they export important information from your email, means your social security, driver's license. Lots of people attach those important things to their email. And by getting that, they can go and to any of your accounts, your bank, your phone, eBay, Amazon, anything, and they do whatever they want. So first thing we want to talk about is do not attach important thing to your email. Or if you do, always delete it right away. Do not leave it there. Because if you leave those things on your email, they can not easily, but they can take it out. Number 2, your email needs to have a very specific password. Do not share that password with anyone. Do not create password like my name 123 with like 56 and a symbol. Create a very complicated password.
And I would say, don't put your birthday in there.
Exactly.
Or your children or grandchildren's birthday. Or your home address.
Exactly.
Phone number.
And very important that I've been telling people, now these days they say, okay, I make a complicated password, but I have like 200 things that I'm using every day. How can I memorize those? That's why we talked about password management, like 1Password, LastPass, Keeper, and many more. So we can have one section later about password management and how can we use it.
Okay.
Number 3, always turn on the multi-factor authentication for your email. For everything else as well. In these days, having one password, having one security layer or level is not good. It's definitely highly recommended to have multi-factor authentication. The ways multi-factor authentication work now, either is by phone, means texting you. The newer ways are the app. There are authenticator apps like Microsoft has it, Google has it, LastPass has it, and many more that give you a code. That code every 30 seconds get reload or change. And then by logging in, for example, to your email, you have to open that app and check the code, type that code within 30 seconds and click submit, and you can log into your email. That was number 3. Now we get into our email. What emails should we open? What emails should we pay attention? So when you receive an email, always double check the from. Who sent it to you? Don't check the name because they can put Janice Wood. The email is from Janice, but really when you click on it, it's ABCD at something, some weird information. Always double check that from. So they hide the from. So you only see the name. Number 2 is if it has weird attachment. If any attachment with a very low size in computer to go very fast, we have start from kilobyte. It's the megabyte, kilobyte, gigabyte, terabyte, all those. If you see an attachment, it's 1 byte. It means it's smaller than kilobyte. Those are very suspicious. So be careful about those. The tone of email, what does it mean? Janice usually talks to you in the same, in a certain way. You know that tone. Now AI, when we talk about it, artificial, can come in and create a new tone. It's very legit, but it's not Janice tone. So pay attention when you open something important. Is it really Janice? Because Janice usually start with this, end with this, something like that. Number 5. Do not do multitasking when you open an important email or even not important email. Means do not just double click when you're talking on the phone. Just read everything, make sure it's correct or not. If you have an IT company that you work with, always double check if you're suspicious, even in a very good email. If you receive email the old ways, like they ask you to buy me gift card, give me this account, I need your social security, ID, all these things, always think and do not use it because second thought, because I always say that. Pause, take a look at it. That's what I tell myself and my wife, kids even. Double check why someone needs your social security, why someone needs your ID, why someone needs your driver's license. Yeah. There's no reason for that.
My brain has got so much stuff going on in it right now because
so
you're talking.
Because
you're talking and I'm picturing, I'm going to use Google, for instance,
Sure.
Okay? My package is at my warehouse, is at the warehouse.
Yes. Interesting.
Interesting.
Yeah,
I always look at that one as being a scam.
A scam. That is true. And you really may have a package because these days, all of us buy from Amazon, eBay, online, Nordstrom, anywhere.
But why would I have Amazon or Google? They're holding my package. Well, they can keep my package.
Exactly.
Okay?
Yeah.
All right, so that's scary.
That's very scary.
And if somebody, and I don't know, this is one of those things we repeat constantly, ask you for your social security number, ask you for your bank account information, or your Medicare card number. Do not give it to them.
Never.
Unless you absolutely know who they are.
Exactly. That is true.
And Social Security, any government agency is not going to call you.
You're the expert, so listen to the expert.
Well, I had someone call me up and they said they were from the U.S. Border Patrol.
Oh, yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Why would the U.S. Border Patrol
want to talk to you? Yes.
Talk to me. They're not going to call me.
Certainly right. Yes.
But they sound official because they're using that AI, probably.
Exactly. Yeah.
But why is the U.S. Border Patrol going to call me personally?
Right. That is true.
I don't work for the U.S. Border Patrol.
That's very interesting. Yes, because And recently I received an mail that you owe this tax amount. It was a very legit mail.
Yeah, I've seen that. I've
yes.
seen that one.
So I called up my CPA and then I sent it to them, and they just told me this is a fraud. That's why I was suspicious. They usually don't send
Yeah.
they can send you that you owe something by letter, but it's always good to double check things. That's my point. Anything we don't know is or even we know, is good to check twice.
And it just so happens he and I have the same CPA.
That's exactly
Okay.
right, yeah.
And I know for working with him, if they're going to send me something that is important,
Right.
it's confidential,
Right.
you have to go through a secure site.
Exactly.
So if somebody's asking you for that type of information and you don't know who it is, and it's not even secure, it doesn't mean that the hacker is not going to have a secure site.
Oh, yeah.
Because they can get those secure.
They do have it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That,
they do
right.
have it. We learned it.
Be careful in who you're giving that information to, because I know a lot of seniors have money sitting in those accounts.
That's exactly right.
And if you've got to negotiate to get it back and you've just lost 40% of it,
Yeah. That's
you don't have time anymore to get that 40% back.
That is
Okay?
true. Yeah.
You just lost that time.
Very true, Janice.
So it's very scary. So we're talking both business and personal.
Yes.
I mean,
And now we're talking about, we want to inform you, not we don't want to have a scary show. We just want to have an informative show. And then we like to give you some tools. I mean, like as we said, multi-factor authentication, secure passwords, restart your computer. These are the things, those are very basic. You can do it at home or at work. Now we're going to talk about backup next. How do we back up important
but before you
things?
go to backup, let me ask, I'm always thinking, I know because I deal with people's personal information, okay? And I don't like to go into, let's say, Starbucks, because that's the famous
Correct.
one,
Yes.
okay? And use their servers.
That's their internet. That is
Their
completely
internet.
true. We went to a seminar last week, and they were talking about
a public
internet.
internet.
Yes,
Because I'm always afraid that that's easier to get hacked into.
you're totally right. Because everything through we're talking about network. We have to understand what is network.
Right.
Network means connections
Right.
to each other. So if someone finds a hole or something that goes from one location to another in the network, it means they can hack. So when you go to Starbucks or hotels, when I go to the hotels, when I want to work and I'm working with confidential information, I always connect to my hotspot, phone hotspot.
That was my next question. Yeah.
So phone hotspots are very secure because it's connected. If someone asks, can they hack phone hotspots? The answer is yes. They can. Anyone can hack anything. We're talking about layers of security. We're talking about the chance. The chance of the hacking a public network is higher than the private network. Private is your phone because you only have access.
Right.
Public is the one that they give to all the guests. So it's better if you want to use something very secure. It's better to use the hotspot that you have. If you don't have it, it's better to wait and use it when you go back home or something like that.
So that means even if you have a company computer,
exactly,
and you've gone off, like you said, you went off to a conference and
Right.
you're representing your company.
right.
You still got to be careful of those files from your company's computer.
So the businesses, when they go, usually they provide, especially for the important information, like we went to the conference,
Right.
each of them has a local internet. It means they don't connect to the public internet. They connect to their own internet they carry with them. Let's say you have Starlink. Starlink is an internet that by Elon Musk, the founder of Tesla. Now he has an internet called Starlink. Starlink is a small device. Lots of these companies take it with them. It has a small satellite, and you can have your own private internet.
Okay.
5 computers connect to only that one, or something similar to that. So yes, that is a very good point. But usually businesses, especially the big businesses now, they have their own multi-factor authentication login. Means when you log into that computer for work, you have to pass a security level that your company provided. We do the same thing for our big clients. For example, we use Duo. Duo is the application. You put it on each computer. So whenever they log in, they get a code as well on their phone. They need to use that code.
For like me, because I'm a single person,
Exactly.
sole proprietor. I use that hotspot on my phone all the time. So I'm very secure with my clients' information.
And anytime you want to go to Medicare, as you show me, you need a new code. You need a new security level. So I saw it. Yes.
Well, when I go on to any of the insurance companies, every one of them extra codes all the time.
That's exactly.
I mean, and some of them with the passwords.
Right.
Some of them they won't even let you use any word found in any dictionary.
That's exactly.
Which is like insane.
Insane. Yeah.
Because if they do that, every couple of weeks they're asking you to change the password.
That's what the password management software do that right now.
Yeah.
So if you use, for example, LastPass or any of them.
Right.
When you say the system create a password for you, they create like a 15 letters, digits, all these things, symbols, but random. That letter, that sentence doesn't have any meaning.
Okay. I know we got off from where we were talking,
Let's
so
go back.
go back because we want to get pretty soon into our announcement and talk about
for sure.
That's good. Okay.
Okay.
All right.
So now, the important thing, again, this session, we want to make sure you have the basic tools to prevent things as well. So we talked about the password, multi-factor authentication, checking the from email, make sure the attachment, the tone of the email, if the person sent you is usually send it to you like that. If it's a new person that sent you an email, always double check. If you have an IT company, something suspicious, go over with that. For your personal things, do not leave it on. Every night, make sure you turn it off or restart. You put a 15 minutes lock, means if your computer is idle for 15 minutes, it goes to screensaver and it goes to password mode. That's another important thing. Do not install software that you don't know about. That's very important, Janice, because sometimes we download something and it says, oh, do you want to install number 2 and 3? And you don't know what it is. You say, okay, install all. No, do not install them, because sometimes they attach software to to another software that you don't know what it is and can be harmful. So as far as emails, if you follow these procedures, if you delete the attachments, important attachments from your email. If it's your personal picture, I don't think is a harm, unless you don't like someone steal it. But if it's like ID or social security or insurance and all these things attached, definitely remove it. So then your email can be secure. If you have the good password and multi-factor authentication, you add more layers. Now, when we say layers, Janice, because I want to bring it to the reality, so I'll talk about a little about layers. It means, let's say you have a big house with a big yard, right? So where do we want to make it the most secure location? If I have a big yard, I want to put a gate. Right?
Right.
So we want a good gate in front of our house.
Correct.
Okay? Now you want to say, I want to make it very secure. I'm going to hire someone that's standing there. Anyone goes in, they say, oh, you're good. You're not good. I want to check your ID. Like the communities that you go, they have a security gate. They check everything. That's exact same thing in the internet world. When the internet comes in, you want to have a good firewall, security gateway. Same concept. It means software is there, it check. If it's the internet, usually to just make it very simple, it comes as packets in the internet world. For example, you send an email, it goes to some packets, it's sent to another person as packets. These packets combine and become a sentence or something like that. That's the internet world. So when these packets come in, if we have a firewall, basic, good, medium, doesn't matter. If they recognize them as those famous, viruses or attacks, they drop it. Now that's your gate in your yard. Now I'm coming, I pass it, but let's say the security, didn't check everything. I pass it, right? Now you have doors and windows. What do you put in your doors, windows these days? Security.
Security.
What do you use? ADT, Ring, all these things,
Yeah,
right?
right.
Each window has a thing. If you open, close it, it will beep.
Right.
Same thing for computer world. You need a good antivirus. That's the security. It's the second layer of security.
So what if you're an Apple user? Do you still need that antivirus?
Definitely. Apple users, Apple is always more secure, but you still have the layer of security. We're talking about, very good point, Janice. But let me ask you this. Let's say you have a yard, you have a good security. You put very strong fence for your doors. You can say, now I have a fence. I don't need any Ring or ADT or anything. But again, your fence is another layer. Ring is another layer. So you add 3 layers.
Right.
So Apple, same thing. Maybe Apple has another better layer than Windows as far as the security, but you still have need the antivirus. So when you put all these things, the chance of hacking goes lower. Means if it was 56, if it was like 30% to be vulnerable, now it's going down to 10%. So that's what we need. There is no way that we can do it 100%, but we can bring it down close to 100%.
Well, we do our best to add those layers. But at the same time, people are out there trying to figure out how to break into those layers.
But at least we do our homework the best we can, and then that's why we talk about backup. I don't want to go through the subject. It's a very big subject, but backup, always remember, it's good to have a physical backup and cloud backup. What we learned during these attacks that we talked in the previous section, it was what they do now, the new attack. This is strictly for business. For homes, cloud and hard drive, disconnect the hard drive from the computer. Why? Because if they attack if the hard drive is disconnected, you're safe. Your file's not going to be harmed. But now we learn for businesses, the way we design it now is one server for backup. There is one cloud for that server backup. So it's called bucket. It goes to a bucket, and then we create a third bucket. This bucket, copy to the third bucket. Now what we do with the third bucket, we lock it. Even the owner and IT cannot remove it, cannot change it. They only can download it. We keep the third bucket for a month. The second bucket is nightly or weekly, and the server is daily, right? So when they attack to the server and this bucket, they can destroy them, but the third bucket, they cannot touch. So you still have a bucket safe. Yeah.
Right now.
Right now,
Yeah,
this is the newest design that we found when we went over these attacks, and we find, so now for our clients, we do that.
I mean, technology is really great. It does wonderful, wonderful things for us. But at the same time, it's really wonderful. And everything advances with technology.
Right.
But there's people out there, instead of taking their talents of doing things that are good,
They
they want to break in. So like breaking into our homes, they're finding ways to break into.
You brought a good example. Just for the last thing I want to say, remember the movie Catch Me If You Can?
Yeah.
With the movie Catch Me If You Can. If you haven't watched it, watch it. But the real character, his name is Frank Abagnale. He's a very, very interesting guy. And he has a talk, if you want, Frank Abagnale. And he has a talk with the Googler on YouTube. It's around 1 hour and 7 minutes. I highly recommend watch it. He gives a very good things, because he used to, make checks and all these things, certificates very easily long time ago. But he talked about how can we prevent, how can they hack today. So it's very interesting. I highly recommend that.
It's really interesting. But right now, I know our subject has so much to talk about. Things change so rapidly with it. We haven't even touched what's going on out there. And this is part of our announcement.
Oh, perfect.
And Arash is going to become part of a Senior Citizens Forum.
Yes.
He's going to have a segment that's part of our show each week. And I'm really excited. He's going to have tips on there like he's given us today. He's going to educate us, which is the most important, which includes those tips. And please come join our weekly show.
That would be great. I would love to help.
Excited to find you. We're found in many, many different outlets.
Yes.
And you'll find, if you're watching us on YouTube, you can find us on Roku. You can find us on E360 TV, Android, Apple TV. There's a lot of different
ways.
places that
Exactly.
we're going to be found on. So please come watch our tips. I'm so excited that you're
Thank
going to
you, Janice.
become
I'm
part
very excited to do that.
to be
and
part of our show.
Exactly.
I think it's going to make our show much more interesting,
yeah.
and more valuable.
I hope so. Yeah.
Yeah.
I hope that we can help more people.
We can help
To
more
prevent
people and protect us. And if you have any comments, we love the comments. Please put them in the chat box. I know on YouTube. We're also on Facebook, Instagram, and the future, we're going to have more places on LinkedIn
Exactly.
where how to do that. So please, come and watch us. I'm so excited about this.
Me too, Janice.
Because the information that's given today is just the tip of the iceberg. One of the things that people that personally are hacked are what they call it, the grandparents.
Grandparents, yes.
Right. There's another one called romance. You wouldn't believe that romance would be a major,
exactly.
a major thing. And Arash and I together.
Yeah.
Maybe sometimes him by himself, sometimes with me. Okay. We're going to talk about these different things in a much shorter time.
Times, yeah.
So I think it's going to be great.
That would be great because we're going to point just one specific thing on each section.
Right.
Exactly.
For that time. And again, there's always ways to contact us. We have it posted. You'll be able to find both Arash and I. And welcome to our senior.
Thank you so much, Janice.
Senior Citizens Forum family.
Yeah.
It's like, and we're going to call them. It's time for Arash, and we're going to find out how to beat scamming and hacking.
Hopefully.
And that's real important. And thank you, everybody, for watching us today. Thank you, Arash.
Thank you so much, and happy Persian New Year to everyone.
Yes,
Wish you a
he's
great
having
year.
Persian New Year today. And I brought him the little plant, okay?
Yeah, thank you.
For the
Thank
Persian.
you, Janice.
And
Beautiful.
thank you for becoming part of
pleasure.
our group here. And everybody have a great day.
Take care.
Bye.
Bye.